Hey dude, we're going to break down your backside five to figure out how we can go and get you a cork and this more proper. So, right now, what you're doing isn't a cork, it's actually a Misty. And the big difference is right here. On a cork, you want to be able to spot the knuckle and see the whole way, but on a Misty, you have this moment of blindness where you're up in the air, out of control. A Misty is a lot harder to control because it's done with this downward throw motion, making it so your axis rotation is more like a front flip. And that's why it's really hard to control and spin out of and spot because you're blind. Your axis rotation is on a lot of gnarly stuff, and we don't really want to do Misties. Uh, the other main reason we're not doing Misties is because of this. See how you're going and throwing completely down towards your feet? This is how I used to do it, and this is how I used to do my doubles. But what you actually want to be doing is standing completely tall and tilting your whole body towards your tail. That's going to put you on an axis rotation that's much more consistent and much smoother. But if you go and throw down, you're throwing more like a front flip. So if you're going to do it like that, you need to think of throwing it like a front flip 180. What's really gnarly and really sketchy and hard to control. So I'd be really interested in seeing some videos of just your normal back threes and normal back fives because it's one of those things in snowboarding when you want to do corks, sometimes you over exaggerate it and make it a bigger deal than it is. If we go and look at one of my back fives here, this one isn't really corked, but a little bit. And what you'll notice I'm doing is I'm just making sure that my whole body is relatively straight. See how it's nice and a straight spine? And in order to go and get my rotation, my flip, I'm just angling my whole body down towards the tail of my snowboard. So I'm throwing with my upper body set over my back foot, matching the angle of the takeoff, and that's putting me on the angle of the takeoff, and that's letting me go and get this slight bit of off kilter. Uh, the more off kilter you want to get, the more you go and increase your throw over your back foot, but we don't want to increase our throw downwards like a front flip because that's going to be hard to control, hard to predict. So, what I'd recommend doing is going back and just doing normal back fives, and know that if you do a really great back five, you'll be able to change the axis of rotation. And what you need to do to get this great back five is make sure when you're leaving, you're not going and rounding. You're not going and rounding at the spine. If your spine starts to round, you're going to be throwing down. So keep that spine straight, keep everything over, and make sure you're snapping off the tail of your snowboard instead of over your toes. We'll go and look at yours just one more time really quick here. Do 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 do. If I can go and get my tabs in order. Uh, all right. So I'll see if there's anything else I can notice on this angle. Pretty good timing on the heel edge to toe edge. Uh, I'd say you could be even a little more patient on that. More patient just helps. And yeah, you're leaving off a tail in a good spot, but you're just throwing too much down, and that's putting your weight forward, and that's also where this drift is coming from. Your takeoff's relatively good. It's just that your weight's being thrown down, and that's causing you to drift. So try to keep everything more straight, and remember, corking comes from taking your whole body and tilting it to your back foot, not from going and rounding your spine and throwing down. So send me those clips, make those changes, and let me know how it goes, just because Misties aren't really a trick we see in snowboarding, and there's a reason they're really tough.